Math 3, Unit 1, Section 1, and this is Part B. We're just continuing on with our examples. Okay, so the first thing I want us to do on this is rewrite it with our zeros so we can remember our starting point. I have y equals -3, absolute value, x plus 0, plus 0. So what is my starting point? Very good, 0, 0. So we go make our point at 0, 0. The next thing we're going to do is plug in values. We need 2 more points. So I have y equals -3, and I'm going to plug in the value of 1 for x. So we have the absolute value of 1. When we do that, okay, we get -3, and what is the absolute value of 1? 1. And so you multiply that, you get -3. And so that ordered pair is what? 1, -3. So write 1, down 1, 2, 3. So if we would have done this one in notes yesterday, it would have been helpful. Okay. Then I'm going to plug in a -1 this time. And what is the absolute value of -1? Still 1. Good. And so we get -3. So this ordered pair is -1, -3. So we go left 1, down 3, and make our point. And we know the absolute value graphs, what shape do they make? A V. So these are straight lines going down in a V. And why is this one going down? Because of the -3. The A value on this is -3. And when you have a negative, it means that it's going down. Okay? All right. We have our exponential function. So we are going to go ahead and just make a t-chart with x and y. We're going to start by plugging in 0 for x. I'm going to make this bigger for some of you in the back there. Is that better? Okay, anytime you guys can't see something, just let me know, okay? Okay, so we're plugging in 0 for x, which means my equation will end up being 3 to the 0 power, and anything to the 0 power equals what? 1. And so my first ordered pair is 0, 1. So 0 up 1, there is my point. Next value I'm going to plug in is 1. 3 to the first power is 3. So my second ordered pair is 1, 3. So we go right 1, up 1, 2, 3, make my point. What should be the next value I choose? Very good. -1. 3 to the negative first power is 1/3. Good, because when we have the negative exponent, we have to change the sides, which makes the fraction 1/3. And so we get -1, 1/3. So we go -1 up 1/3. Where's my asymptote on this graph right now? Good, at y equals 0. For this case, in all of these, when you have this exponential function like this, it's always at 0. And how I know it is that if you kept plugging in values, there's no way I can ever get 0. Okay? You'll find when we have some shifting going on that when it shifts up, the asymptote will shift up or down. And you'll see that later on. Okay? But you can tell that when you get the 1/3, it doesn't, if I plugged in -100, I would still get a fraction like 1 over something. So since it's never going to hit 0, that's where the asymptote is. Okay, so this graph ends up looking like this. And then we're going to write that our asymptote is at y equals 0. So all horizontal lines are y equals, where our vertical lines are x equals. Okay, I want to move on to this last example. here, and then we're going to skip these because of time. Do you guys feel like we'll be okay without doing these? Okay, well, we'll talk about it. We'll take a vote. Y is not by itself. What will I need to do in order to get y by itself? Good. So we're going to divide both sides by 3. And we get y equals 4/3 x. So I just flipped it around. You can flip equations if you're moving everything from the right to the left and everything from the left to the right. You can just rewrite it however you want to, as long as everything that's on one side stays together. We're going to rewrite this one with the zeros. Okay? And so that would be y equals what? 4/3 x plus 0 plus 0. Bryce. You're right. So if you notice, there's no pluses or minuses here, so everything's being multiplied and divided together, so you're correct. But when you're dealing with a line, you pull the numbers in front because that's giving you your slope value. So while you could write it as 4x over 3, that is not incorrect. It just makes more sense visually when we're doing these problems that the number's just in front.
It's the same.
But it's the same. Yes. Okay, so what's my starting point? 0, 0. Good. Now, do we want to plug in points or do we want to use the slope? Slope. So where am I going to go for the slope? Good. So remember, so my slope m is 4/3, and that is rise over run. Or you can think of that as your y over your x. And so from this point, I'm rising up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going over run 3. Right, 1, 2, 3. Now, if I want to get a point going in the opposite direction, what would I do? Good. -4, -3, because a negative divided by a negative actually is a positive. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then left 1, 2, 3. Okay. Any questions there? All right, we're going to flip over. I want to do 2 more problems, our special cases. Y equals 2. I kind of already talked about this. When you have y equals, that is what type of line? Horizontal. So on the y-axis, you're going to go up to +2 and draw your line. Okay? If the next one, x equals -3, that is very good, vertical. And so we're going to go left to -3, 1, 2, 3. And that will be a vertical line going up and down. Any questions?